I think a lot of us are very excited for GigaTexas, and of course check out Jeff Roberts' channel if you want to see daily updates of it. He's been getting these awesome shots every single day trying to cover any move the construction crew makes, and something that goes back and forth in my mind a little bit is what vehicle is GigaTexas going to produce first? Now, a lot of us just like to instantly assume that the Cybertruck is coming out of GigaTexas, so that's obviously the first vehicle they're building there, but Tesla's investor relations page actually confirms that the Model Y is going to be built first at GigaTexas. I know, it sucks, I'm sorry. We all want the Cybertruck to come out now, and we want to be able to throw our steel balls at the glass windows, but it sounds like Model Y is going to be the priority, probably because Tesla already knows how to mass produce it, and the crossover segment is a lot more popular, and the Cybertruck mass production is going to be a lot more complicated, and there's going to be a lot of firsts for Tesla when mass producing it, so probably don't expect that to start deliveries until 2022. But the question I'm asking myself is, which Model Y do they build first? How exactly is this transition going to take place, given now with the standard range Model Y available, we've got 3 different variants all being built out of Fremont, and they've got the 2170 cells, and we've got rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. It's a very popular vehicle that a lot of people are going to end up buying, but GigaTexas is on track to come online later this year. My guess is going to be around September, October, somewhere around then, and that's when the first Model Ys are going to be coming out. But which Model Ys exactly? And I think we're all assuming they're going to end up being 4680 cell batteries with the structural battery pack, and it seems like the factory floor is being optimized for the GigaPress, so it's going to have that single piece casting in the back, a single front piece casting as well to help mainstream and simplify Model Y production. So if Tesla is building a bunch of Model Ys out of Fremont and they hope to start initial production here by the end of 2021, which Model Y do they build? And how do you avoid the issue of, I don't want to get a Fremont built Model Y. I want to get the GigaTexas Model Y because it's going to have the next generation batteries, which are going to have great range and better chemical chemistry to allow for faster supercharging and that kind of thing. So how does this transition exactly take place? Do people on the East Coast get a way better Model Y than people on the West Coast? Are there going to be people that travel across the country just so they can make sure they get a Texas-made Model Y? Well, obviously, today's video is speculation. There's no updates. There's no news that Elon has confirmed which configuration of the Model Y GigaTexas is going to build first. We really don't know, but a theory I received from my good friend Nick and Sweeney over on the Tailosive EV podcast is that they're similar to introducing the 4680 cells on the Plaid Model S first, going to start with the most expensive Model Y and then slowly over time work their way down. This theory makes the most amount of sense to me because when you're first mass producing brand new batteries like the 4680s they talked about on Battery Day, the yield rates are not very good, which means that there's a lot of cells that you can't end up using and there's a lot of testing that goes around. So when you start off producing vehicles at a new factory, you probably want to start with the more expensive models and then over time you can work your way down, which means that my guess is that the performance Model Y is going to be the first one they build out of GigaTexas, and this will be rocking 4680 cells, the same ones that are going to be seen in the Plaid Model S. And the interesting thing about this is it means that Fremont can stop making the performance Model Ys and maybe have a bit more room in their supply chain to meet orders for the normal long-range Model Y, or maybe have some extra batteries for the standard range Model Y, which I'm guessing is going to be very high in demand this year. But once GigaTexas is pumping out these next generation batteries incorporated into the next Model Y, you could have a performance variant that also has really good range, because the structural battery pack is supposed to allow for lots of range benefits, probably some weight benefits as well, and that could mean that during this transition phase, when Tesla is still producing Model Ys with 2170 cells out of Fremont, but also producing Model Ys with 4680 cells out of Texas, you could briefly have a time where the performance Model Y is going to have way better range than even the long-range all-wheel drive Model Y. And it might not be for long, because as GigaTexas ramps production and scales a bit more, they'll probably be able to, of course, transition the rest of the Model Y lineup over to 4680 cells with better range and better cost benefits. But the Model Y performance coming out of Texas could have a, over 340, 50 mile range thanks to the added benefits of that 4680 cell pack. And then you just have like a Model Y to the max. You have like the best Model Y available, and it's going to have the best range and as well as the best performance. Who knows, maybe they'll even allow a 7-seater on that Model Y, but it'll be an interesting time to see how these two gigafactories coexist with each other, both building the same vehicles but with different batteries. And over time, of course, GigaTexas will eventually start producing the rest of the Model Y lineup. Probably after the performance variant for a few months, they start building the long-range variant, and then we'll see that maybe break the 400-mile range department, maybe not until next year. And then once they can ramp up Model Y production here to such an extent that they can maybe shut down or slow down a lot of the Model Y production coming out of Fremont, hopefully they can adapt and start incorporating the 4680 cell battery packs in Model Ys coming out of Fremont as well, once the battery factory on Cato Road is able to scale production a bit more and actually meet the insane number of batteries that Fremont is going to need. So I think long term, while Elon may make his comments here and there, I don't think Tesla's leaving Fremont. I think that factory is going to stick around for the long haul, but it's so constrained right now and it has to continuously be building all kinds of vehicles nonstop. They haven't really had a great opportunity to optimize the factory floor and the assembly process, and they're waiting for GigaTexas to come online so they can actually retrofit a bit of the factory in Fremont, make it a bit more streamlined and there's less quality control problems, and of course in time incorporate the 4680 cells to all Teslas, including the ones being built in Fremont. And we know the Plaid Model S is going to be built there. There's been no announced plans on building Plaid Model S's out of Texas. It sounds like GigaTexas' schedule is already pretty packed. They're going to focus on Model Y. My guess is the performance variant first and then work their way down. And then of course probably Q1, Q2 of 2022, they start mass producing the Cybertruck here as well. And somewhere along those timelines, they got to make time for the Tesla Semi coming out of GigaTexas as well. So there's not much room for the Plaid Model S there. That's going to definitely stay in Fremont, along with the Roadster, hopefully coming out next year. And then after all of this, after this very complicated lineup of vehicles Tesla's going to be mass producing, they have to eventually find the time and place to produce the $25,000 Tesla at some point in 2023 or 2024. It's going to be a very busy next couple of years, but I'd love to hear your guys' guesses or predictions for what GigaTexas is going to be building first. What month do you think it's going to come online? Do you think it's going too slow and that they won't be able to make this facility operational by the end of this year? Or do you think it's ahead of schedule and it will be operational by the summertime? Feel free to fill me in on all your theories down below. Thank you all for watching. Hope you have an excellent rest of your day. Take care.